In order to better understand our relationship with carbon footprints and the eggs that we eat for breakfast, let's review the general factors contributing to a carbon footprint. The major components toward carbon footprints are greenhouse gases, GHGs. Specific gases are carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, among others. They are primarily produced from fossil fuels. Mechanical emissions and transportation are a considerable carbon footprint contributor. Next to the energy involved in electricity and accessible water are also major inputs to a carbon footprint. The production and especially pollution of plastic adds to the overall total as well. And lastly, deforestation allows captured carbon from cut trees to escape the soil and re-enter the atmosphere. Thus, the major cause of deforestation is often for the purpose of new land development, especially for farming and agriculture, such as cattle, swine, and poultry and eggs, which are now the most consumed protein in the US, with approximately 5 chickens for every head of cattle. And now that we have a good grasp on carbon footprints, is there a carbon footprint associated with my egg? Here is Claudia Dunkley, an extension poultry specialist from the University of Georgia, to explain.
The greenhouse gases that we are concerned about in animal industry on a whole would be carbon, nitrous oxide, and methane. When it comes to the poultry production, the majority of greenhouse gases actually comes from feed production. Yeah.
Wait, what did she say? Yeah, chicken feed has one of the highest carbon footprints involved in poultry production, with a portion of land use, crop production, and livestock energy contributing toward the overall footprint, with over a quarter of the total global emissions being attributed to agriculture. Egg pasteurization is also a requirement by the United States Department of Agriculture in order to eliminate potential pathogens, though they still infect over 1 million people annually despite strict US sanitation and refrigeration practices. Whereas chicken vaccinations are common throughout the rest of the world, allowing companies to save energy and costs by negating refrigeration and washing as necessities. For instance, the UK experiences less than 500 cases annually of salmonella by reason of vaccinations. So, does this mean the carbon footprint for my breakfast can be lowered? Yes, definitely. We are capable of creating affordable, alternative protein sources which are applicable for many agricultural species. Lowering carbon footprints of poultry and eggs involves avoiding the use of ingredients that consume excess water, land, transportation, and energy, such as soybeans and corn, while using alternative ingredients that are high in crude protein, but also more sustainable and environmentally friendly, such as composting worms and insect meal, leftover animal byproduct as well. Don't forget to also shop locally to reduce substantial supply chain emissions too. Additionally, trial periods of carbon taxes and cap-and-trade carbon permits are underway in other countries, plus select states like California. Here is EarthFix Media to further explain these carbon options.
Cap-and-trade supporters say the law gives us more control over emissions. With a carbon tax, we don't know what exactly will happen to emissions, but we have a better idea how much it will cost to try to curb them. Either way, both laws ultimately make carbon more expensive to emit, with the hope that people and companies will change their buying habits. So, how much more will Sally ultimately cost? It all depends on the details, like where Sally left her carbon footprint. In Mexico, burning carbon costs an extra $1 a ton. In California, that same ton costs $13, and in Sweden, $130. In any case, the more pricey we make carbon, the more competitive solar, wind, and other non-carbon-based energy sources become.
So, following this advice, we can take these small steps towards large changes in better protecting our environment. Thank you.